All right, what's going on? In today's video, I'm going to cover a little bit about food and what kind of foods you should be consuming if you are trying to prepare for a competition or an event, a fitness event, or what have you, specifically, powerlifting, or any really trying to get ready for even a CrossFit competition. This technically can apply to like hybrid type of style of training. But before I dive into today's video, subscribe, like, share with a friend if this helps you and you find it useful. I have a very unorthodox way of thinking, kind of a practical, typically practical, quick flex for the internet. Okay. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to consume. So if you're trying to prepare for a powerlifting competition, for example, powerlifting meets, typically you're going to weigh in the day before, 24 hours before, or even like an MMA competition or an MMA fight, you're going to weigh in. I think MMA fighters, they weigh in 24 hours. Although, no, they weigh in the day of. So the first thing is fruit, okay? I'm big on fruit because it's good for your gut, okay? Now with the whole weight loss gimmick stuff, everybody's talking about weight loss and talking about, like using these kind of drugs to help you weight loss. And it always comes back down to food, okay? You have to eat right to get the right bacteria in your gut and your stomach so that you can properly digest the foods. Okay, this is so important. And unfortunately, the society we live in, people are thinking that you need to do a quick fix when you just need to eat right. Okay, you need to eat right, and you need to sleep, you need to work hard. Okay, that's the basics of everything in working out and in life, really. You have to do these foundational things because everything else you do, supplements, super stacks, you know anything that you want to use as an enhancement to grow your muscle tissue a little bit faster, if you know what I'm saying, these will not work if you don't work. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you take. You can take, like I know in powerlifting, this drug, I think it's called Halodrol, I think it's called, and it's basically boosts your strength up. Some of my peers use it. Personally, I've never tried it because I don't need it. But in all seriousness, people use these things because, in my belief, they don't really believe in themselves and they don't have that faith to kind of go and do well with their thing. That's in the world of like drugs, okay, and the strength drugs, those sort of things. But I say all that because people think and they rely on external substances, exogenous sources, basically is what it's called. And in order to get ahead, and you don't need to rely on these exogenous sources, you need to rely on your work ethic, your food, and your mindset. Okay, because your mindset is very powerful if you know how to control it, and that's what ultimately it comes down to, is to knowing how to control your mind. It's very, very powerful. Fruit. Okay, so I would get blueberries. We've got some blueberries. We've got some orange juice. All right, orange juice is fast acting. I really like orange juice, or something in the juice that makes you go bananas, not literally, although figuratively. Orange juice, my favorite. Orange juice, any sort of juice, orange juice, grape juice, pear juice, cranberry juice. Great fast acting ingredients, nutrients that you need to get into your training and do well. Another thing that you can take are electrolytes. So you can get a Pedialyte, especially if you are already weight cutting and you are trying to meet weight for your meet in your event. It's very important to replenish those electrolytes. So you can get a electrolyte drink mix. So I got this as a gift from my recent competition. My powerlifting, they gave me this, all these stacks. It's loaded with sodium and electrolytes, which you need if you lost a lot of water weight to meet your weight. So you need to drink your electrolytes. If you can't get electrolytes for whatever reason, get some coconut milk or coconut water, get some orange juice and grape juice. Okay, those are really great for replenishing all that lost water. Another thing is, again, fruit. So I'm big on fruit. A lot of people turn to candy. Okay, candy is straight up sugar, and the first ingredient in candy is typically corn syrup. Corn syrup is horrible for you, so try to stay away from that. Obviously you want to indulge maybe for fun, okay, but your majority of your nutrients. My favorite, blueberries. Something in the blueberries that give you the super magic powers. In all seriousness, it does give you super magic powers to get you through your hard training. Another one is, of course, the orange or orange juice. Those are my favorites. Okay, now moving into possibly maybe you're not really feeling these. You're like, you know what, Yelena, I don't really want to eat fruit. I want to do some hardcore stuff, or I want to be a little bit more flexible. Okay, so what you can do is bread. So I really like bread. Sourdough bread is a great one, or like a French bread. Like this is a French bread. Okay, just plain white bread. I purposely will choose French or like white bread because it's fast acting. It'll get in the kind of in the cells faster, if you want to think of it like that. Uh, in other words, it doesn't have as much fiber than something like whole wheat bread. Whole wheat bread is going to take a little longer for your body to digest, and it's going to be a little bit slower acting. And if you are in a competition, it can stay in your kind of gut or your system a little longer. Now, if you're somebody like me where you like fiber, I love fiber. Oatmeal is a great example. It's not too high in fiber, but enough for you to kind of restore your cells, especially if you were cutting some weight. Um, Flexing for the internet. Okay, so we've got some old fashioned oats. Jeopardy girl. Old fashioned oats. Quick oats is another great one. But I really like oatmeal. Not too much fiber, just enough for you to kind of get that pump going and get you ready for your competition. Okay, I really like oatmeal with banana and peanut butter. I always This is a processed peanut butter, but I get natural. I get this kind. Typically, if I'm prepping for like a competition or something, I really like peanut butter because it satisfies my desires. And so when you taste, you eat food that makes you feel good and you like it, it just makes that experience much more enjoyable. Another thing that's really great that is not too dense, it's kind of light, is butter. So I've been getting plant butter. Uh, Plant butter. It's vegan plant butter, and you take about maybe a half a stick of this. That's a lot of calories, and you can put it on sourdough bread. High calorie, not too much food, so you're not gonna feel like overloaded, like you're not gonna feel like super bloated, and not like necessarily bad per se. It's basically just plant-based oils. I prefer this. Also has pea protein. So I used to do bagels, so that's my next one. Is you can look into bagels. Bagels. A lot of people like dancers, for example. From my background, anytime you before you go and dance and perform, a lot of the girls, we would eat a bunch of bagels and cream cheese. That was a thing or tradition when I was back then. So I still do it before like competing for like powerlifting. I will load up on bagels. Uh, Bagels, sourdough bread, easy, fast absorbing, really gets your weight up if you're competing in like a weight sport like powerlifting or MMA or jiu-jitsu, and fast acting. Okay, so like you can eat a bagel or like sourdough bread right before you go and compete in MMA or Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and it won't necessarily make you feel nauseous and it won't make you feel like you want to throw up. And that's usually due to the fact that the fiber count isn't that high. Although, again, depending on the type of bagel you get, it may make you feel that way. But those are my favorite foods. Again, try to choose, fruit like blueberries, banana. I have bananas here, but they're green right now. But bananas, oranges, blueberries, cantaloupes, melons, all great. And then, of course, like I said, bread. If you don't want to do that, then you can do rice. I did a lot of rice and eggs. Helps get me full, helps get those cells nice and full, and gets that pump going. Another thing is I also do a lot of spaghetti. If I don't want to do rice, I'll do spaghetti. And then another thing that I do is also lots of cereal. So I love cereal. I actually just ate some. It's currently 11. It's currently 12 a.m. actually right now on a Friday night. Well, technically Saturday morning. But I just ate some cereal as my dinner tonight. But I do cereal with some almond milk. Usually, I do a high fiber cereal the night before I go and compete. Sometimes the morning of, I'll do a fast acting carb, again, like a bagel typically, or like some sort of bread. So, those are my foods. Thank you for watching today's video. the key is to be consistent and to be cautious of not necessarily trying to resort to like things like too much cookies and too much donuts and sweets. You can overload on those before you go to compete, and I mean I do it at times, but you just don't want to overdo it because you need to get quality nutrients, especially if you've been water cutting and trying to meet weight. It's very, very important to replenish your electrolytes. Otherwise, you can, if you're already dehydrated, you can things can go south really quickly. So it's very important to put your health first. Number one, your safety, and of course, choosing the right foods for your optimal performance. Yeah, the video. Thank you for subscribing to the best YouTube channel ever, Heck Bounty for the internet. And if this found you well, this was useful, consider sharing it with a friend, and I will see you in the next video.